Good morning. Welcome back to Hiking with Kathleen. So this video is actually being recorded at the tail end of 2022. And in it, I'm going to show you the wonders of winter, because this is sort of the doorstep to winter where we have gone through a period of having a mild December, and now we're coming out the other side of a deep freeze that was minus 30 degrees Celsius in Southwestern Ontario. And today is not as bad. It's about minus 8 degrees. At the tail end of this video, after showing you some beautiful scenes of wildlife and scenery, I'm going to go through some of my favorite reading material in 2022. Those will include field guides and adventure books that are based on people's real life experiences. So stay with me to the end. As I was walking along this trail today, I saw the remnants of a meal that had been eaten last night. So this would be a coyote kill, and it's a rabbit. And the way we know that is there's a tuft of fur not too far away. I know that can be hard to look at, but it also means there's one more night that the coyotes were able to live comfortably on a meal. Thanks for joining me for today's wrap-up. So I have a collection of things that I'd like to recommend to you, and I want to hear your input as well. I want to just give you some recommendations. These are some of the books that I have found were really useful in my time creating this channel, and they've been ones that I've put to use over the 2022 season. So I have a lot of field guides. The Sibley birds for the east part of North America was one that I already had, but one that I picked up this year is the Sibley birds. It's the second edition, and it's for all of North America. So sometimes it makes it more interesting because then I can look at other places where the birds have are also commonly found. And it also has a few more tidbits because it is a larger field guide. This one I've really enjoyed, Mammal Tracks and Signs, A Guide to North American Species. It's the second edition by Mark Elbrock. And I will put links to all of these resources that I'm using in the description below. And this is something that I actually just embarked on. So I knew I wanted to gain more knowledge, more information about birds. And when I was in university, I took a bird biology course, but I mean, that was a lot of years ago. So maybe a little bit more than 30. So this one is a course that was put together by Cornell University under the Bird Lab. So it is called Cornell Lab of Ornithology, Handbook of Bird Biology, 3rd edition. So this is a course textbook that accompanies the course. So I don't know, everybody's financial situation is a little different. I'm a retiree. So I bought this course book, and then a few months later, more recently, I bought the course. And so when you pay for the course online, they make reference to this book, and that is what helps you to complete a series of quizzes. I mean, all the courses are open book, so it's something that you can do at your own pace. I found that that's really been very interesting and very helpful in my desire to bring more bird information to you folks. So those are some of the handbooks that I'm using, but I'd also like to go through and give you an idea of the books that I'm listening to through the program called Audible. Audible is a resource that's available through Amazon, so amazon.com or amazon.ca. And these are some of the books that I listened to over the course of 2022. A Life on Our Planet by David Attenborough. The Book of Hope by Jane Goodall, as she's doing it in interview fashion with Douglas Abrams. And some of these books that I'm going to list off next are ones that might have been based on the author's firsthand experience, or they might actually have been taken from the lives of other people they know of that completed these adventures. So, A Walk in the Woods by Bill Bryson, and it's about the Appalachian Trail. The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. Lost on Purpose, Patrick Taylor. I quite enjoyed that one because this was a person who was he was in his 50s and he sold everything and embarked on this trip. Goodbye Things, which is the new Japanese minimalism book, and the author's name is Fumio Sasaki. It was read by a person who, of course, reads in English, and so it was a direct translation, but I found when I read that book, I had no problem. I threw about 2 big bags of clothing together in order to donate them. So I always like things that challenge my way of thinking. Now, this one I know gained a lot of popularity and traction when it came out in a movie, Nomadland, Surviving America in the 21st Century by Jessica Bruder. It, in fact, is not just about being a van lifer or living in an RV, as I guess I went into it thinking. It's about people who are surviving, and that is the way they have chosen to do it because of the cost of living and everything that has made it hard for them to live in a house or rent an apartment. So anyway, I found it very insightful. The Art of Storytelling by Hannah B. Harway. Yeah, I found that one to be, I like books that help to give me a better way of doing things. So anyway, that's why some of the books are not necessarily adventure books, but they're ones that help to stretch my skill set. Braiding Sweetgrass, that was recommended to me by a few people. And Robin Wall Kimmerer is the one who's the author. That was a really good book. I'm not going to go much into what any of these books are about because I figure if I give you the title and if it seems kind of interesting, then have a look at it. The Genius of Birds, Jennifer Ackerman. Oh my God. It shows you how to not overlook the way a bird thinks, like a chickadee. And I was really interested in what it had to say about crows and their ability to give back. So anyway, that's as much as I'll say about that. But along the same lines, Finding Mother Tree, Discovering the Wisdom of the Forest by Suzanne Simard was very interesting about how a forest depends on the diversity that is within in order to stay healthy. And kind of goes contrary to everything about forestry, where clear cuts are then plots of land replaced by a solitary species that is desirable wood, and how that creates problems. So anyway, I found that one to be very interesting, how diversity is really the underlying key. These are, you get a lot of podcasts for free when you have an Audible subscription. And so one that I've enjoyed is by Sue Perkins under the category called Earpedia on plants, and then there was another one that was on animals. So it's done in a fun kind of manner, and it tells you facts about the plant or the animal that was being highlighted in those series. Through Hiking Will Break Your Heart. It's about the Pacific Crest Trail, and it was written by Aaron Spencer. And the last one here is The Power of Moments, Why Certain Experiences Have Extraordinary Impact by Chip and Dan Heath. So that's the list I want to leave you with, and I'm going to include a link for anything that you might be interested in down below in the description. But as a reminder, and for those of you who are new to this channel, I have launched a website called hikingwithkathleen.com or hikingwithkathleen.ca. They'll both lead you to the website. And in it, I have made a page of gear links so that if there's something you wanted to know about, whether it was camera gear or maybe clothing, you don't have to go through the different videos in order to see where I might have linked it. I've put everything on that one page. As well, for those of you who want to know what the next video is going to be for the following Tuesday, since new releases are every Tuesday morning, what I do is I include the thumbnail in the description, and so then it gives you a bit of a sneak preview, something I can't do just on YouTube. It's released by schedule. After going through that long list of books, I'm hoping that if there are some books that are of interest to you that have really moved you, whether they be personal development or whether they be ones that have to do with adventure out in the wild, please let me know your favorites. Ones that you read in 2022 or some other year. I tend to look up most books on Audible. Of course, the field guides, those are all ones I love to have in my hand. So, and tell me your favorite field guides too, because I do have quite an extensive field guide collection, but it wouldn't hurt to know if maybe there's some others that I probably should also have. And so I appreciate any input you may have. So at this time, I'd like to thank you for your time and your support in 2022. Wishing you the best for 2023. Wishing you health and happiness and success in whatever it is you're striving to do. Thanks a lot for joining me every Tuesday morning. Bye for now.